Hey guys, welcome back. Just a quick video I wanted to share about Thailand and the border issues I had on the south of Thailand. So I have been in Thailand for around 40 days and I needed to do a visa run where basically I go to Malaysia and I then go out of Malaysia and come back into Thailand, and they basically should give you another 45-day visa. So then I can stay another 45 days. I spoke to many people and they can say you can all do it in one day. You can go there with the morning train, stay a few hours in Malaysia, and then come back in the afternoon. So I think, great, that's what I'll do. And it basically turned out to be a lot more difficult than what I planned. So I catch the morning train from Hat Yai to Malaysia, and I have my bag with me, but not enough stuff for one night. And I try to go through. I get into Malaysia, no problem. And then I try to go back into Thailand and they deny me entry. I literally have to prove this and they deny my entry. See the void? This void is from the Malaysia side because I left Malaysia. Thailand didn't let me in. So then I re-entered Malaysia and they void the stamp coming out of Malaysia. But yeah, the Malaysia side was very friendly about it, which was nice. But that meant I had to find an accommodation in Malaysia. So I managed to find somewhere on Booking. It wasn't too expensive, maybe 12, 14 euros. But the problem is with this train station is that they shut the bridge to go across the train station. So what you have to do is either taxi or take a walk. And I walked because I'm in no rush whatsoever and I don't want to pay for a taxi. So I have to take this walk about 40 minutes long where you go under like a one-way road under the train tracks, and it's not a great walk at all. But anyway, I spent one night in Malaysia. This is a small town called Padang town, and there is nothing to do there at all. This is also during Ramadan, so hardly any restaurants are open. There's no markets. It's a pretty depressing town, to be honest. I even tried to go out on one of the nights for a meal, and it was dark at this point, and it was like this big open kind of restaurant, and they had these lights at the top attracting all the bugs. And as I was eating, literally dead bugs were falling on the floor and around me. So I ended up getting it takeaway and then having it back at my place. But it was just not a very good place to be. There was just nothing there. But I remember my first time I was there, I was going to the 7-Eleven, which is one of the shops, and I see this guy walking towards me who also looks like a tourist, so we just smiled at each other. And this guy comes into the story later. So the following day, I then take this walk again back to the train station to go back to Thailand, which is what the lady said. She said, come back tomorrow to come to Thailand. So I did. And I repay for the train ticket again. And as I'm waiting, I see this guy who I saw the previous day. And he comes straight up to me. And he's with 4 other guys. And they basically did the exact same thing as me. And they were denied. They said that they tried to come in the following day, but because they saw the void stamp, the Thai immigration was not happy and it was disrespecting their rules and they didn't research properly. So they tell them that they have to do 3 more nights in this tiny town. And then I started worrying because I do not have anything for me to stay in this town for 3 more days at all. So all my stuff is back in Hat Yai in Thailand. It means I have to keep on paying all this money for storage. I have to rebuy everything in Malaysia. Do I then go and travel Malaysia for a few days? Do I take a flight to Thailand and see if they let me in through that border? Do I try another border? So I have all these things going in my head. In the end, I decide to take my chance and risk going through the border. So we all split up in the queue, me and these 4 guys, just so we didn't look like we were together, which could have caused more problems. And I then see some of the guys on the train and they point to me to which border person to go to, which I then go to this woman and she takes one look at my passport and tells me to go to someone else. So then I go to this other person and she kind of seems like the boss. Like she had there was I think 2 other people in front of me, one of them being a French guy from that group and then another guy was an English guy. and we were all just trying to get into Thailand with the visa reset. And she was interviewing us like I've never seen a border done before. She was asking why are we here, where are we staying, what's our purpose, how long, all these questions. I guess just to see if we're being legit in what we say, something like this. Long story short, she stamps me through, which I was so happy because I did not want to do 3 more days in this Malaysia town with nothing to do. Actually, there's so little to do. KFC's marked as a tourist attraction. So yeah, that's where I was. Anyway, I get through. I'm very happy. And then I was speaking to the guys on the train, and we were having this long conversation about this because there is a lot of tours and organizations which do this in one day. So you pay a lot of money, they go to the border, and then you go back out the border. And we're thinking, well, how do they do it and we can't? But we come to the conclusion that they basically bribe the border officials with a lot of money, and that's why you pay so much money. And they bribe them, which allows you to do it in a day. So it's just very, very corrupt. But I'm glad I did it the way I did because I did save a lot of money and I got another 45 days, which is fantastic. And while I was on the train, I was then speaking to this English guy who was in front of me in the queue at the border. And it turned out he was a teacher here, and we actually had a common friend. My mum's best friend is his auntie, which was absolutely crazy. Like, this is just some random place in Thailand, like a crossing between Malaysia and Thailand, and no one does border runs here. Very, very few people, because most people, they go to the island or they go to Laos or Cambodia to do the border run. But just because it was nearer for me and the train was cheap, it worked out best for me to do it this way. But yeah, if you cross this border, just be prepared for problems.